Hi, good morning, everyone. I want to thank NAFA National first for inviting me to do our Advisor Ambassador program for this month. I'm Joanna Delosa, and I'm here to share tools to thrive, top tips for new advisors to succeed. So let's go ahead and get started. Great. So this is a bit of background on my information. I have these designations. So I'll start off with LUTCF, FSS, RICP, LACP, CLU. So all of these designations are mainly achieved to help my clients, help my community, and everyone that I am in contact with who I can help. And really, it was the inspiration came from my family, and the story is not that awesome, but it's from experience. So I had a few members of my family who passed without proper planning, and at the time I was a bit too young to help them. I was still in school, and this propelled me to want to become educated in the topic of financial and estate planning and retirement planning so that I can help families just like mine to prevent them from encountering all of the troubles that we had faced as a family, not just my immediate family, but my relatives as well. Like, because planning is not really at the forefront of our thinking. We mostly plan for parties or vacations, but financial planning is usually put to the back and it's not usually taken care of right away. So uh, I went ahead and got my designations and furthered my education to help benefit my family and my community as well. So that's where all of this came from. And on top of that, I'm a member of NAFA, the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, this wonderful organization. And I've served as president for NAFA Los Angeles in the past year. So I'm immediate past president currently. I'm a member of MDRT, which is Million Dollar Roundtable, and WIFS, which is Women in Insurance and Financial Services. Great. So let's go ahead and get started on tools to thrive, top tips for new advisors to succeed. So my first tip, let's get into it, is number one, get your ducks in a row. So what does that mean exactly? Well, getting your ducks in a row means to get all of the paperwork done, dot your I's and cross your T's. So make sure that your contracts are in good order with your companies. Make sure that your license is current. If you are just getting your license right now, make sure that you have all the requirements done. And you want to also make sure that you have errors and emissions insurance because you can't do your business without it. And if you are offering annuities and long-term care in depending on which state, there are requirements for continuing education that you need to complete. So get all of those guys done. On top of that, if you're offering products with cash value, then you also have to complete your anti-money laundering training. So that's very important as well because they will not continue with an application without this very important training. And the last thing is depending on your carrier, most carriers have their own product suitability or product training. So make sure that you get all of your ducks in a row, get all of that training done before you submit business, because if you submit business and you don't have these ducks in a row, so to speak, then what will happen is the company may request for you to have your business redone, resigned. So you have to go back to your client, explain what happened, and then yeah, it doesn't look like you know what you're doing, so to speak, but you do know what you're doing. It's just that this was an error. So you just move forward and you get it done. So before any of that happens, make sure, number one, get your ducks in a row. It'll make your business that much smoother. Next, get into a growth mindset. So what does that mean exactly? So um, I like to focus on the more positive things in life. And sometimes we can get dragged down by all of these things that we're hearing all over the place. But it's good to focus on the good. So the first one, instead of focusing on the challenges, take note of the challenges and focus on the solutions. Because there in the solutions lies the opportunities. Next, so these advisor ambassador webinars were made to help build insurance muscle. We're fit to take on these challenges that we are approaching. So um, I would say for any webinars that you have that are being offered to you, definitely utilize them for your benefit. This is a wonderful time to learn as much as you can and utilize what you learn, because it's through the practice of utilizing what we learned that's where we build the muscle and put the pedal to the metal and show your strength as well and have courage in using what you learn, because that's where the real excitement begins, because any knowledge that's not used is mainly entertainment. So use what you learn. Next, it's important to do a review of what you've done in the past. So one of the tips that I would say is do a review of the first half of 2021. What kind of agent was I? Did I hit my goals? What prevented me from hitting my goals if I didn't hit my goals? And if I did hit my goals, what worked and what should I keep doing? So that takes me to the next bullet, which is review of the first half of 2021. Again, what kind of agent do I want to be in the next 6 months to finish off the year strong? So it's taking into account what you did, what worked, what didn't work, and how do you envision the end game to be? Like, what do you want to do and what do you plan to set out? Like, do you want to make MDRT? Do you want to make a certain council at your organization? So these are the type of things that you'd like to think about, and of course how to get there as well. Like, what am I going to do to get there? Next, embrace all of your achievements and shortcomings to become better. So even if you didn't hit your goals or you did hit your goals, either way, thank yourself. By thanking yourself, it allows you to become better and embracing everything, because we can't go back to the past, but we can always move forward into the future and see that we can make it better. So embrace everything, the difficulties, the challenges, and the environment that we are continuously pivoting in, because this is the fertilizer that we are building upon. So we're building on this. And of course, these past few months and this past year have been a lot of pivoting, I believe, for everybody. And you have the power and the choice to decide how you want the rest of the year to turn out. Really, it's all on you. Everything that you need is right here and right there. So with a life of significance, we could thrive. So where do we thrive, really? Initially, we look for belonging, and we find belonging in our love and relationships. So in thinking of thriving, like, where do you find love and where do you build your relationships? Usually it's within, within your family, within your friends, within your community. And through there, it's like you would want to help these people. These people would want to help you as well. And utilizing that love for each other, you can offer what you are able to do, which is your service. So we'll get into this in a bit later, but one of the things that can help you overcome certain fears that you might have is approaching the people that you love with your service, through a standpoint of you wanting to help them, not just for business, but for anything really. And I think once they see that you're authentic in your approach, then and you really truly want to help them and find what's best for them, then they'll reciprocate more often than not. Find purpose in what you do, and live a life greater than what's in it for me. How do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered just by, like, oh, she had a lot of nice purses and she drove a very fancy car, or oh, she really helped me in my greatest time of need and she was there for me when all of these things happened? So it's really, how do you want to be remembered? And that's how you'll get your purpose. Storytelling. So being able to share a story that can hopefully inspire another, create a stronger bond, and change perspective. So you might have someone who doesn't really believe in life insurance, but through the power of storytelling, you might be able to share a story where, I can share a personal story, I had a client who wasn't sure if she should keep a life insurance policy for her mother. And I reviewed the policy and found that it was close to lapsing. So I encouraged her, oh, you should continue to pay for this. You need this much to make sure that it's in good order, it's healthy, it's a healthy policy. So she got it back in good standing. The policy was healthy. And then a few months later, her mother passed away. And I went to the wake and I offered my condolences. And she told me, she pulled me aside and said, you know, if I didn't have this life insurance policy, I'm not sure how I would have been able to bury my mother. And so that can definitely change a perspective on the importance of life insurance and how it can dramatically help a family who might not have the means to survive if something like this should happen, or if someone passes and they don't have enough savings to protect the family, to continue on living financially as they had. So storytelling is huge. Like, it's definitely an asset that is good to grow. And people feel first and rationalize later. So if they feel you, then the trust is growing and your bond is being built. And of course, transcendence. So transcendence is the outer body feeling that you get from helping someone after you help someone. So it's like, I feel good. Like, in this industry, the more that you keep doing it, I believe that the more you'll get this feeling of transcendence, and it's definitely something you look forward to, especially if you've done a very good job and you just want to keep doing good. So transcendence. Next, these are some ideas from my RICP professor, Joe Jordan. So he's fantastic. Um, First, we want to be remembered for something more important. And that goes back to the item that I had mentioned on living a life that's not just for yourself, but also to be of benefit to others. Next, experience cannot be pursued, it must be ensued. So that's basically us utilizing our muscles and knowledge to gain that experience, not just learning experience, because you can't, just read a manual on lifting weights and expect yourself to grow some muscles. You have to go to the gym and actually pump some iron. So in that, to grow muscle, one must go through the pain and the discipline to build that muscle. So coming here, we're growing, and then once we utilize what we learned, take it out there and we put it to the test. So that's what that is. And price. Price is only an issue in the absence of value. When we are able to educate our clients on why our recommendations are important and how it'll help their financial situation, the price is only an issue in the absence of value. When they see the value, all we have to do is really find what they're comfortable with and make the two match, our recommendation and what they want. And that's how we help them. And our job is to protect. We provide solutions to problems that are bigger than this. So our solutions are way bigger than our fears. So one of the quotes that my high school teacher once told me is, always remember to put other people's needs above your own fears. So that goes into protecting as well. And if you know it, believe it. And I believe that to be true too. As short and simple as that is, if you believe in the financial tools that you offer, I believe that you should also have them as well to help your own financial situation, and know and understand what you have so that you can help the next person. And chronic production issues are behavioral. They can be changed. So if you feel that you're not as productive as you can be, it's within you to change it, and you have the power and capability to do so. And if your desires do not sync with your beliefs will prevail. So if you're always talking down on yourself, like, oh, I can't do this, oh, this person may not want to answer my call back, or you have all of these preconceptions before you actually take action, then your belief will prevail. Like, the minute you don't take action is when your beliefs take over and you don't get to where that point is you want to get to, if that makes sense. So yes. If your desires do not sync with your beliefs will prevail. But if you believe that you're trying to help people and you want to make a difference in people's lives, then go for it, because that belief will prevail. And learn by doing, not by learning. Going back to what I had mentioned earlier, all of these great webinars are for us to learn, but we have to do as well. Do what we learn. And fear blocks us, but we shouldn't let it control us. I have fears too, fears of being inadequate, making mistakes, but those are just moments in my mind that just have to be released and then just move forward, because once you do the action, it kind of builds on your confidence. And then from there, it's just like a snowball. You just keep going, and then your confidence just gets bigger. Once you start the action, it's just baby steps and faith and continuing. So just keep going and confront the emotion of fear. Love drives fear out. So once you're coming from a place of love, then you're pretty good, because you're coming from in here and not from any expectations on the outside. And once you know what you're doing and you go for it, and you're coming from a good, sincere place, then you're on the right track. And lastly, change the way you see things, and the things you see will change. That kind of goes back to going back to fear. So I have a slight fear of phone calls, although I do have quite a bit of experience in the industry, but I still get a bit of cold feet when making my phone calls. But now, like in changing the way that I see phone calls, it's an opportunity for me to bond and connect with my clients and to build the rapport that we have. It's not as scary as I once thought it was. And it's actually a good thing, and it's good to reach out, and it's good to make that connection. So if you look at the benefits of something that you don't want to do and you focus on those benefits, doing it is not as bad. Kind of like doing a plank or doing squats. Although it hurts while you're doing it, the end result is like, ooh, hey, I'm getting more shapely. That's awesome. So similar to this, except the end result is that you're doing good and you're helping people, excuse me. So also remember this, we do something worthwhile. The families that we help, like what we get out of what we do for others is not as much in comparison as to how much we're able to help them. So the little thing that we do makes a big impact, even though we don't see it right now, but in the future, it makes a big difference in the life of a family. So what we do is something worthwhile. And in 2050, there will be 2 billion people who will be over the age of 60. So that's a lot of people that will need our help and understanding what they need to do for that period of time in their life, that they may be living another 20, 30 years or more, who knows, given all of these advances in medicine. So it's a lot to prepare and to guide people with and through. So ROI, it used to be return on investment, but now ROI, it means the reliability of income. So just looking at the statement above, 2 billion people in 2050 will be over the age of 60. We need to guide and help them and figure out the best ways for them to have that reliability of income. So this statement is basically coming from my RICP background, which is Retirement Income Certified Professional. So I'm just like, oh, yes, ROI. And always know your why. Whenever you're feeling like, oh, I'm not sure if this industry is right for me, go back and remember, why did you start in this industry? Like, what was the purpose? What is the goal? And why do you do what you do? Kind of ties into your why. Why do you do what you do? And it's to be of benefit to others every single day. How can you be of benefit to others every single day? And make certain to talk to thousands to affect the millions of people. Because on our level, like the community level, once we have stronger families, we have stronger communities, that'll take into effect into the city, and then we'll have a better state and stronger, financially stronger, well, I already said community, but country. Like once we get it on this like micro level, it expands, and then it'll just make everyone better as well. So talk to thousands to affect the millions and make an impact on others. Live a significant life. And you do this through our industry by being authentic and real and sincere in what you do. And of course, thrive. All of this will help you to thrive. It's all in here. It's all within. And of course, through education as well. Like continuing education and through webinars and learning through your mentors and those who guide you in this industry. So on that note, thank you for joining me on Tools to Thrive, Tips for Financial Advisors to Succeed. This is Joanna Delosa. Have a nice day. Bye.